How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we come together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build that positive mindset. My name is Henry, and I'm so thankful to have each and every one of you here today because in this episode, we're going to make another positive shift. It is time to change frequencies, to level up, and this episode is going to help you do exactly that. But before we get started, we're going to take a few moments to slow down, zero in. We're going to take some deep, healing, meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. So pick a word. It could be love, joy, happiness, abundance, whatever frequency you want. And we're going to take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, you're going to say that word over and over and over again. Really charge yourself up with that energy. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize yourself doing something in that frequency. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. We're going to take another deep breath. This one's about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so we can receive the message that we need to hear to get us in that positive state. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It can have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down the negativity, the blocks, the weight, everything that's just been holding you back. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. Understanding your mindset is extremely important. What your mind is set on dictates the experience that you're going to have. This is why mindset is so important. You see, it's not one word. Your mind, which is the lens in which you perceive and experience the world in, sits on a certain frequency. The frequency that it sits on dictates the experience. You see, the world is not as it is as you are. So as you are is meaning the frequency that you're operating on. It changes your perspective the higher frequency you go. You're able to see more. You're able to receive more because of that. Words represent frequency. You see, the word isn't just the word. It's how we perceive a frequency, an energy in this experience. When you perceive something, because you're the observer, you create that same thing because you're an observer that creates. The way you create, or you constantly create, what you observe. And so by certain words, certain frequencies going within you allow you to create something different. So in the last episode, I really went into language. I was speaking words of affirmation. I was charging up ourselves with frequency. And it was powerful. People felt comfortable. They felt like they had their teddy there to comfort them. Just raw. Made them feel young. Made them feel innocent. Because not the words, the frequency was pouring into them. The way we structured the call, the way we got our minds before we started, allow us to receive something. So if you haven't listened to that episode, I encourage you to go back with this new perspective. This perspective that what you focus on, what you see, you create more of, including the words. And so we're going to do it again. We're going to charge ourselves up. You're going to hear the things that you need to hear. These are not things that you deserve to hear. These are things that you need to hear. You have purpose. You have value. You are here for a very important reason, and your reason is unique to you. There is no better or worse. There is no way that somebody is supposed to live. There's the way that you're going to live. This is an experience that you are going to have. That is all there is. That is all you'll take with you. So you have to make it a powerful one. So these words that, yes, you deserve, but you need to hear, you should be saying to yourself at all times. You should let yourself know how big you are. You should let yourself know how smart, how intelligent, how joyful, how forgiving, how loving, how passionate you are. If you speak those words into you, you will create that experience for you. The world is not as it is as you are. Meaning people aren't experiencing the same world, they're experiencing it based on their frequency. You're here for a reason. Start thinking about your life. Think about from the day you were born to now. Think about your parents. Think about your grandparents. Think about all of them. They are looking to you to be the one. That's why it's been hardest for you. That's why it's been more difficult for you. You look at your siblings, they had it easier. You look at the people in the other houses around you, your neighbors, the kids you grew up with, they had it easier. Why was it so hard for you? It's because you are the one. It's not about the external things that everyone goes through. It's the internal state that you have as you go through them, the demons that you beat within. That's where your growth is coming from. So you ask yourself, why was it so hard for me? Why did my parents not do this? Why was my school not this? Why were my grandparents like this? Like, why was it so hard for me? I see these other people who were so great. It's because you are the one that's going to change it. Because you're already asking the question. You're not accepting it as it is. Think about your parents. How much are they accepting as responsibility from them versus just saying that's how it was? You're thinking different. It's not that they're wrong. It's not that your teachers are wrong. It's not that your influencers, your mentors are wrong. That's just their experience. You are going to create a different one. It's that simple. It's not better or worse. You are the one that's going to change the path of generations to come. You are the one that people will look back to and say, that was her. She was the one that did it. Her life, her parents' life, her grandparents' life was so radically different than hers. For some reason, she saw the world differently. She looked out, she would see land and see what could be built. She looked at the water and knew that's where the power was. You are that person. You're the one that will change the world. You see, again, it's not actually changing the world because the world is not as it is as you are. So you are the one that's going to change you, which will then change your experience in the world. It's always you. That's why it's been harder. That's why you look at things differently, wondering, like, why doesn't anybody see me? Why does this seem difficult for me when everyone else just does it? Why can't I get to that next level? Why can't I make this much money? Why can't I meet this type of person? You know that you're meant to change. That's why you're asking those questions. There are people that are having the same experience as you. They're not asking any questions. They accept it. They maybe challenge you. Why do you want more? Can't you be satisfied? You should be thankful for what you have. You see, they don't see that there's something different. They don't see that there's a different experience for them, and that's okay. They might be living their experience, but you're not. So that's why you have to use the power of frequency by paying attention to words, giving yourself the word, putting yourself around people that give you the word, uplifting yourself. Birds of a feather flock together, meaning you will not be around people that are different frequency than you for very long. You either adjust to them or you can't fly with them. And that means up or down. If you're around lower frequency people, it's not good or bad, just lower frequency. You have to be lower frequency too to stay with them. If you stay high frequency, you can't stay with them. The frequencies can't overlap. Vice versa, if you're low frequency and you're trying to operate with high level frequency people, they're not going to come down for you to make you more comfortable. You have to uplift yourself. So lead yourself with the power of frequency. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am the greatest. I'm an 8-figure earner. I am the most forgiving, loving parent there's ever been. I'm the best spouse that could ever exist. Talk to yourself as if you're the greatest, and you will be that. If you talk to yourself less than great, then you will be less than great. It's not good or bad. You can be less than great and be a terrible person. You can be less than great and be an amazing person. The status at the level you become something has nothing to do with your inner self, the love, the frequency that you're operating within them. Hyper successful does not mean that you are not right within, that you are not giving and loving. And on the flip side, if you didn't achieve much and you just hung out, there's nothing wrong with that either. It's your experience. But be the greatest at it. Talk yourself into the highest light. As you see, you will create. You are the observer and creator of your experience. Level it up. You have the calling. You're here for a reason. Become the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was impactful. I've been trying a little bit different flavor, and it's interesting to do, but I've enjoyed it. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link down below. It will keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram and TikTok down below. So I appreciate all the follows there. I still have one opening for this coaching that I'm opening up. It's a specific program. This is for somebody that really wants to apply it to their business, whether they're an entrepreneur or a high-level executive, and they want to make that mental shift. They want to shift into something that they've never been in. They want to get that clarity, that positive mindset that they know will change their business. If you're that person, again, this is a different type of coaching. This is not my regular programming that I do where it's a 12-week course. This one is 12 weeks, but it's substantially more of an investment to do. Again, it's for that specific person. I really want to explore this in the entrepreneurial business energy. I've had some success with it, and I'm just looking to work for that right person. I appreciate everybody that's reached out so far. I've enjoyed just the conversations, because even if we don't work together, I always like to, have a chance to say hi and thank you. And of course, if I can offer perspective, I try to do that as well. So I really appreciate everybody that's done that. And again, Instagram's probably the best way, but you can also message my email down below. That works as well. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.